Let us start salt analysis. In salt analysis, so far we discussed conformity test for anions. In the conformity test for anions, at last we discussed sulfate and phosphate. Sulfate and phosphate we discussed. Sulfate and phosphate do not come under dilute acid test as well as concentrated acid test. So if the anion is not responding for dilute acid test and concentrated acid test, then we will say that anion is a sulfate or phosphate. Sulfate or phosphate we can say. Okay. Next we will see cationic analysis. In the cationic analysis, first we have to come to an idea that the given salt contains cation comes under which group. Then in that group, what are the cations are possible? Then among that cations, which cation is given, that we have to analyze and confirm it. So cationic analysis. In the cationic analysis, first we will see group separation of cations. Group separation of cations we will see. So first we are seeing group separation of cations. Okay. Now in the group separation of cations, let us take first group we will take. In the first group, what are the cations? What are the cations responding first group? One is lead cation, silver cation, then mercurous cation. So Pb2 plus, Ag plus, mercurous. These are coming under first group cations. Then we will see second group. Second group cations, which are coming under a second group cations, that we will see. We'll take copper family. In copper family, copper comes under second group. Then we will take neighboring zinc family. In zinc family, cadmium and mercury comes under in second group. Cadmium and mercury comes under in second group. Then we will take carbon family. In carbon family, tin and lead comes under second group. Tin and lead comes under second group, carbon family. In the carbon family, two oxidation numbers possible. One is +2 and +4. Carbon family elements can show two oxidation states, +2 and +4. So tin we are taking +2 and +4. Tin we are taking +2 and +4 we are taking. Then neighboring group is nitrogen family. From nitrogen family we will take arsenic and antimony. Nitrogen family can show +3 and +5. So we will take +3 and +5 possible oxidation states we will take. Okay. So these cations, and in nitrogen family, another one will take bismuth. For bismuth, will take +3 only, not +5 due to inert pair effect. Okay. So bismuth +3 only we are taking. These are second group cations. Okay. Next we will see third group cations. We'll see third group cations. In the third group cations, iron, chromium, aluminum. Iron, chromium, aluminum. All have +3 oxidation state and group number also 3. Group 3, iron, chromium, aluminum, all are having +3 oxidation state, group number also +3. In the second group, all are having +2, we cannot say. Arsenic, antimony, bismuth having +3. Sorry. Next we will take group 4. Group 4 if you take, what are the elements? What are the elements? Manganese, iron we are not taking, cobalt we are taking, nickel we are taking, copper we are not taking, zinc we are taking. So all are having 2+ oxidation state. All are having 2+ oxidation state. It is group number 4. Group number 5, we will take second group elements. In the second group elements, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, that we will take. This is group number, this is coming under periodic table group number 2, so +2 oxidation number. It is group 5. Then group 6 we will take, what is that means? Magnesium. Then group 0 is ammonium. Group 0 is ammonium. Okay. So in the group separation of cations, Group wise cations we said. Group wise cations. First group, second group, third group, fourth group, fifth group, sixth group, and zero group. Cations we said. Then we'll see group reagent. We'll see group reagent. Group reagent. What is a group reagent for each group that we'll see? For first group, group reagent is a dilute HCl of the concentration nearly 2 molar. Of the concentration nearly 2 molar. So for first group, the group reagent is a dilute HCl, concentration is a nearly 2 molar. Second group, acidic medium. Second group, acidic medium. Acidic medium in the sense dilute HCl of concentration nearly 0.2 molar, and we have to pass H2S gas. H2S gas we have to pass. It is the second group reagent. Okay. Then third group reagent. Third group reagent is ammonium chloride solid. Third group reagent is ammonium chloride solid and ammonium hydroxide aqueous solution excess. Ammonium hydroxide aqueous solution excess. Sorry. Next, fourth group reagent. Fourth group reagent is ammonium chloride solid, ammonium hydroxide excess, then H2S gas. Then H2S gas. It is a group 4 reagent. Next, group 5 reagent. Group 5 reagent we will take. Group 5 reagent is ammonium chloride solid, ammonium hydroxide excess, then ammonium carbonate aqueous solution, ammonium carbonate aqueous solution, ammonium carbonate aqueous solution. Ammonium carbonate aqueous solution is a group 5 reagent. Ammonium carbonate solution is a 10% solution. So for group 5, ammonium chloride solid, ammonium hydroxide excess, ammonium carbonate aqueous solution, this is a 10% solution. Okay. Then group 6 magnesium. Group 6 magnesium. Group 6 magnesium reagent. Group 6 magnesium reagent is ammonium chloride solid, ammonium hydroxide aqueous solution, then ammonium hydrogen phosphate, ammonium hydrogen phosphate aqueous solution. It is a group 6 reagent. For group 0, what is the reagent in the sense base, strong base. Strong base is the reagent. For example, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, like this. So these are the group reagent for respective groups. Okay. Now, why they have divided cations into different groups? Why they have classified cations into different groups? Okay, in order to identify easily. On what basis cations are classified into different groups? On what concept cations are classified into different groups? That we will see. Now, first we will take the given salt. We will take the given salt contains which group we do not know. Given salt contains which cation or which group we do not know. We are taking salt for doing cationic analysis. This we will convert into aqueous solution. Aqueous solution of salt we prepared. Now we have to identify the cation and we have to go for a confirmatory test for cation. To identify the cation, we have to go for group analysis, cationic analysis. For cationic analysis, group reagents are available. We have to add group reagents in order to find it. Which group reagent we have to add first? How to do cationic analysis? In a systematic way we have to do, or in any manner we can do it. Okay. So cationic analysis we have to do in a systematic manner. Systematic manner we have to do. What is systematic manner? First we have to do group 1. we have to check group 1. If group 1 is absent, then only you have to go for group 2. If group 2 is absent, then only you have to go for group 3 and so on. So cationic analysis we have to do systematically. It must. Systematically we must do. First we have to test group 1, we have to test it. If group 1 cation is present, okay. If group 1 cation is not present, we are getting a negative result in group 1. Then then only we have to go for group 2, otherwise no. Suppose we are getting group 1, we are getting a precipitate in the group 1, we are getting positive result in group 1, then we should not go for group 2, group 3 like this. If the salt is simple salt, if the salt is mixed salt, then we have to do in another way. If it is simple salt, and simple salt means only one cation will be there, and in group 1 if we get a precipitate, we should not go for a group 2 and so on. So sir, why is it so? If we get precipitate in group 1, why we should not go to group 2, group 3? Suppose if the salt given is salt mixture that contains two different salts, we are getting group 1 precipitate, then we have to go for group 2 or not, in the sense we have to do in some method we have to do, then only we have to proceed to group 2. Sir, now first we will see about simple salt. We will see for simple salt what is the condition for group analysis, we will see. Then we will think about we will discuss about mixture of salts. Okay, so first we will systematic manner we have to do, that is the condition. So as per systematic manner, first we have to go for a first group analysis. Sir, we are taking a aqueous salt solution. To this first group reagent we are adding, that is dilute HCl, which is having concentration nearly 2 molar. Okay. Now here two possibilities. One possibility we will get precipitate, another possibility we will not get precipitate. So one possibility no precipitate. Another possibility we are getting precipitate. In the first group we will get a white precipitate. In the first group we are getting white precipitate. Sir, which cations will precipitate as white precipitate in group 1? In group 1. So among the cations, Pb2 plus precipitate as PbCl2 white precipitate. PbCl2 white precipitate. We are adding chloride. So PbCl2 white precipitate. Next possibility is silver. Ag plus cation precipitate as AgCl white precipitate. Next possibility is mercurous. Mercurous cation precipitate as mercurous chloride. Mercurous cation, mercurous ion precipitate as mercurous chloride. So white precipitate, what are the possibilities? Lead cation, Pb2 plus cation precipitate as PbCl2. Ag plus cation precipitate as AgCl. Mercurous cation, mercurous ion precipitate as mercurous chloride. Mercurous ion precipitate as mercurous chloride. Okay. Other cations do not precipitate here. Other cations do not precipitate with the reagent dilute HCl. Other cations do not precipitate with dilute HCl. Only three cations: lead ion, silver ion, mercurous ion. Pb2 plus, Ag plus, mercurous ion, Hg2 plus precipitate as chloride as white precipitate. Other cations do not precipitate with dilute HCl. No precipitate is possible. Okay. So on adding dilute HCl into a salt solution, if we get precipitate, then group 1 cation is present. If you do not get precipitate, that indicates group 1 cation is absent. Group 1 cation is absent means Pb2 plus, Ag plus, mercurous ion is absent, we can say. Therefore, so here group 1 reagent dilute HCl we are adding. If we get precipitate, Pb2 plus, Ag plus, mercurous ion is present. If we do not get precipitate, Pb2 plus Ag plus mercurous ion do not present. That is the meaning. Sorry. Why these cations precipitate with dilute HCl but not others? Why these cations precipitate with dilute HCl but not others? That we will see. Sir, for precipitation, what is the condition? What is the condition between ionic product and solubility product? What do you say? For precipitation, what is the condition between a ionic product and solubility product? They should be equal or they should not be equal? If they are not equal, whether it is greater or lesser? What do you say? So what is the condition? How the ionic product and solubility product should be there for precipitation? They should be equal or not equal? Not equal in the sense greater than or less than. What do you say? How the condition should be there? How the condition should be there between ionic product and solubility product? Sorry. Do you say that ionic product and solubility product are equal for precipitation? Or do you say not equal? Not equal in the sense, do you say greater or lesser? Sorry. Then we have to discuss about ionic product and solubility product. We have to discuss. Sorry, we will discuss it. So we have to discuss what is meant by ionic product, what is meant by solubility product. We have to discuss. Then only we can say about precipitation. Okay. You are saying that ionic product is greater than solubility product. Sorry. Okay. So you are saying ionic product is greater than solubility product. Okay. If ionic product is greater than solubility product, then we can say precipitation. Ionic product is greater than solubility product means precipitation is possible. Otherwise, no precipitation. Okay. Now we will see different cations we are taking. Different cations will take. We are adding group reagent to dilute HCl. Dilute HCl group reagent we will add. Okay. Now Pb2 plus cation. We are adding dilute HCl is a reagent. Dilute HCl is a reagent. Now what we are getting in the sense Pb2 plus and Cl minus. Now we will take the concentration of Pb2 plus and the concentration of Cl minus we will take. Concentration of Cl minus we will take. Now we will see ionic product of PbCl2. Ionic product of PbCl2. Ionic product of PbCl2 is equal to concentration of Pb2 plus into concentration of Cl minus power 2. Power 2 is because of this 2. This 2 we are writing as power. This is called ionic product of PbCl2. Then we will see solubility product of PbCl2. Solubility product of PbCl2 equal to concentration of lead ion into concentration of Cl minus ion power 2. Now what is the difference between solubility product and ionic product? Here solubility product means it is the concentration of Pb2 plus of a saturated solution. It is saturated solution Pb2 plus concentration. It is saturated solution Cl minus concentration. Saturated solution of what? Saturated solution of PbCl2. This is ionic product means this is the concentration of Pb2 plus from saturated solution of PbCl2 or unsaturated solution of PbCl2 or supersaturated solution of PbCl2. Anything can be. This concentration is from either saturated solution or unsaturated solution or supersaturated solution. Anything. So ionic product means the solution is either saturated or unsaturated or supersaturated. But solubility product means the solution should be saturated. Sorry, okay. So we got ionic product and solubility product for lead chloride. If in this reagent, if you add this reagent, ionic product is greater than solubility product, therefore PbCl2 is precipitating. Ionic product is greater than solubility product, therefore PbCl2 is precipitating. Similarly, ionic product of silver chloride is greater than solubility product of silver chloride, therefore silver is precipitating as AgCl in group 1. In the same way for mercurous, Other cations, for other cations, ionic product is less than solubility product, therefore precipitation is not possible in group 1. In group 1, these other cations, only these cations in group 1, only these cations are precipitating because for these ionic product is greater than solubility product. For these cations, ionic product is less than solubility product. Therefore, these cations do not precipitate in group 1 cell. Okay. So group 1 we have done. Next we will go for group 2. So how to do group 2 we will see. How to do group 2. How to do group 2, that point we will see. We will go for a group 2 analysis. Okay. Group 2 analysis we will go it. Now first we will take a aqueous solution, aqueous salt solution we will take it. First we will do it group 1. We will add dilute HCl, nearly 2 molar we will add. If we get a precipitate, that indicates group 1 is present. Then what you have to do means you have to filter. You have to filter the contents. Then filtrate will be available. This filtrate you have to take for group 2. Okay. You are taking aqueous salt solution. You are doing group 1. You are adding group 1 reagent dilute HCl. If you get a precipitate, then you have to filter the contents. Then take the filtrate for group 2 analysis. If you do not get precipitate here, directly go for group 2 cell. Now we have taken this filtrate for group 2 analysis. Sir, now we are taking a group 1 filtrate. We are taking a group 1 filtrate we are taking. Okay. In group 1 filtrate, is in acidic medium because dilute HCl is there. That dilute HCl is in the concentration of 2 molar. Sir. Now we have to go for group 2. For group 2, medium is acidic medium, but the concentration of acid is 0.2 molar. Therefore, this should be diluted by adding water. So we are proceeding to group 2. Group 2 is done in acidic medium. The concentration of acid is nearly 0.2 molar, but here the concentration of acid is 2 molar. In order to make this as 0.2 molar, we have to dilute this concentration. So we are adding water and we are making the acidic concentration nearly 0.2 molar. Then we are passing H2S gas. Here one possibility is getting precipitate, another possibility is not getting precipitate. Sir, if you are getting precipitate in the sense what precipitate possible? Sulfide. So group 2 cations precipitate as sulfide. So what are the group 2 cations from copper family, copper ion, that precipitate as CuS. Next from zinc family. Cadmium. From zinc family, cadmium is precipitating as a CdS. Then from the in zinc family, mercury is precipitating as a HGS. Then from carbon family, tin is precipitating as either SNS or SNS2. Because plus 2 is possible and another one is plus 4 is possible. Then in carbon family, lead is possible, that is precipitating as a PBS. Next nitrogen family. In nitrogen family, arsenic. For arsenic, possibility plus 3 and plus 5. Therefore, possibility is As2S3. Another possibility is As2S5. Next antimony possible in nitrogen family, that the possible oxidation numbers plus 3 plus 5. So that antimony Sb2S3 and antimony Sb2S5 possible. Next possibility bismuth possibility plus 3. So it gives Bi2S3. So group 2 cations. So group 2 cations precipitating as sulfides. Group 2 cations precipitating as sulfides. Cell. Now we will see regarding this mercury. This mercury is precipitating in group 2 as HGS. Here mercury oxidation number is plus 2. In group 1 also we have seen mercury. In group 1, mercury is precipitating as what means mercurous chloride. In group 1, mercury is precipitating as mercurous chloride. In group 2, mercury is precipitating as mercuric sulfide. So in group 2 means mercury comes under group 2, whereas mercurous comes under group 1. It is mercurous. Mercurous comes under group 1. Mercury comes under group 2. Mercury comes under group 2. In group 2 mercury, group 1 mercurous. Okay, so mercurous comes under group 1, mercury comes under group 2. Sir. Next, regarding lead. Lead we said that in group 1 lead is precipitating as PbCl2. In group 1 lead is precipitating as PbCl2. So Pb2 plus is a group 1 reagent, is a group 1 radical. Pb2 plus is the group 1 radical. So how to do group 1 radical analysis? By adding dilute HCl. So you are adding dilute HCl. So we are getting PbCl to precipitate. PbCl to precipitate. Above the precipitate, what will be there? Saturated solution. Saturated solution of PbCl2 will be there. Wherever you are getting precipitate, above that precipitate, saturated solution of that precipitated salt will be there. So in group 1 you are getting PbCl2 precipitate, means above that precipitate saturated solution of PbCl2 will be there. So in first you are doing group 1 analysis. If you get precipitate in group 1 analysis, you have to go for filtration. You have to take the filtrate. That filtrate you have to take for group 2 analysis. Now the filtrate is what means saturated solution of PbCl2. Saturated solution of PbCl2. Saturated solution of PbCl2. Now you are doing group 2. For group 2 you are making the concentration of HCl as 0.2 molar by adding water. Then you are passing H2S gas. Now this filtrate is a saturated solution of PbCl2. This Pb2 plus ion combining with this sulfide and gives PbS. PbS black precipitate. Now here ionic product of PbS is greater than solubility product of PbS. That means the ionic product of PbS means concentration of Pb2 plus into concentration of sulfide. Here solubility product of PbS means concentration of Pb2 plus into concentration of sulfide. Now this is the concentration of Pb2 plus in this solution. This is the concentration of Pb2 plus in the saturated solution of PbS. Now you see that this concentration of Pb2 plus, this concentration of Pb2 plus is enough for precipitating as PbS. This concentration of Pb2 plus is enough for precipitating as PbS. Therefore, the Pb2 plus comes under even second group. So here this filtrate is a saturated solution of PbCl2. This saturated solution of PbCl2 is having certain concentration of Pb2 plus. This concentration of Pb2 plus is enough to precipitate as PbS. Therefore, Pb2 plus comes even in second group. So now you understand that whether shall we do cationic analysis systematically or not, you think it. Suppose you are doing without doing group 1 you are coming for group 2. Without doing group 1 you are coming for group 2. Suppose you are getting black precipitate. Even CuS also black precipitate. It will give wrong conclusion, no? Of course lead salt and copper salt is having color way, it is a difference is there. Copper salt is having color, lead salt is not having color. Using that also we can get an idea. Even then now Pb is coming even in second group. So PbS is black, whereas PbCl2 is white. PbS is black precipitate, PbCl2 is white precipitate. So this indicates that we have to go systematically this group analysis. Sir. So why Pb is coming under? Why Pb2 plus is coming under group 1 as well as group 2, that we got an idea. Sir. Next group 2 cations we have done. Next we will go for a group 3 analysis. Okay. So First we are doing group 1. First we are doing group 1. Group 1 we are doing. Suppose if we get to precipitate, what we have to do? We have to filter and we have to take the filtrate. In the filtrate, acidic medium is there. That concentration you are taking, making as 0.2 molar, and you are passing H2S gas. If we get to precipitate in group 2, if we get precipitate in group 2, what you have to do? You have to filter the contents. Then you have to take the filtrate for group 3. If you do not get precipitate, then you can go for a group 3 directly. Sir. Now group 2 is over. If you get precipitate in group 2, we have to filter the group 2 result. Then you have to take the filtrate. Filtrate is called group 2 filtrate. This group 2 filtrate we have to take for group 3 analysis. For group 3 analysis, we said what is a group reagent? Ammonium chloride solid, ammonium hydroxide aqueous is the group reagent for group 3. Now how to do group 3, that we will see. Now we will go for a group 3 analysis. Group 3 analysis. Now we will take group 2 filtrate. We are taking group 2 filtrate. To this group 2 filtrate, we are adding concentrated nitric acid. We are adding concentrated nitric acid. To the group 2 filtrate, we are adding concentrated nitric acid. Then the contents are boiled. Afterwards, we have to add ammonium chloride solid, then ammonium hydroxide aqueous, then we will get precipitate. What precipitate? If the given salt contains ferric ion, it will precipitate as a ferric hydroxide. Ferric hydroxide, it is a reddish brown. It is what color? It is a reddish brown color. It is reddish brown color. If the salt contains chromium ion, we will get CrOH thrice, which is green. CrOH thrice green. If the salt contains aluminum, we will get aluminum hydroxide, which is a gelatinous white precipitate. Gelatinous white precipitate. Gelatinous white precipitate we are getting. Gelatinous white precipitate. Sir. Gelatinous white precipitate means gelatinous in the sense it is just like a paste. It is just like paste. The white precipitate is just like paste. It is not hard. It is just like paste. Gel we will say, no, like this gelatinous white precipitate. Sir. Okay. We are adding ammonium hydroxide is a reagent. We are adding ammonium hydroxide reagent. We are adding ammonium hydroxide reagent in order to precipitate the cations as hydroxide. Okay. Now these cations precipitating as hydroxide because ionic product is greater than solubility product for this, therefore precipitating. What about group 4, group 5, group 6? Group 4, group 5, group 6 do not precipitate here. Group 4, group 5, group 6 do not precipitate here because ionic product is less than solubility product. Sir, suppose if we without doing systematically, we are taking the salt and directly we are doing group 3, what will happen? Why to do systematically? Without doing systematically, by taking the salt solution directly to group 3, what will happen means group 1 cations will precipitate. Group 1 cations Pb2 plus will precipitate as PbOH twice. Similarly, Ag plus and mercurous. Group 2 cations will precipitate as hydroxide. Group 2 cations precipitate as hydroxide. Similarly, other cations in group 2. So, without doing systematically, if you do in a random way, suppose directly coming for group 3 and doing, Group 1 cation will precipitate in group 3 as hydroxide. Group 2 cation will precipitate in group 3 as hydroxide because ionic product is greater than solubility product. So group 1 will precipitate in group 3, group 2 also will precipitate in group 3. So that only we have to do systematically. First we have to do group 1 and we have to check whether precipitate is available or not. If precipitate is not there, group 1 is not present. If we get precipitate, group 1 is present. Then you have to filter and you have to proceed. In the same way, group 2 also we have to check it. So why to do group analysis systematically? Have you got an idea? Sorry. First we are doing group 1, then only we are coming for group 2. Then only we are coming for group 3 and so on and so on. Sorry. So why to do cationic analysis systematically? That we got an idea. Sorry. Next, in the group 3, why to add ammonium chloride? In the group 3, we are adding ammonium chloride. We are adding ammonium chloride solid. Why to add ammonium chloride solid? Why don't we add ammonium hydroxide directly? Because these cations precipitating as hydroxide. So we need hydroxide. Then when you are in need of hydroxide, add ammonium hydroxide directly. Why did you add ammonium chloride followed by ammonium hydroxide? What is the necessity of ammonium chloride? That we will see. If we do not add ammonium chloride, what will happen? We did not add ammonium chloride. We did not add ammonium chloride. We are adding ammonium hydroxide directly in group 3. What will happen? Sir, if we add ammonium chloride, what will happen? That we'll see first. If you are adding ammonium chloride, and then ammonium hydroxide. Oh, this ammonium chloride will affect the ammonium hydroxide in what way? That we will see. So, ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. It undergoes partial ionization to give ammonium ion and hydroxide ion. Ammonium hydroxide is a weak base that undergoes partial ionization to give ammonium ion and hydroxide ion. So, ammonium chloride is a salt that undergoes complete ionization to give ammonium ions and chloride ions. Okay, complete ionization in the sense that is maximum extent. That is alpha value is high, but not alpha is 1. Sorry. Ammonium chloride is a salt, so it ionizes to more extent to give ammonium ion and chloride ion. Ammonium hydroxide is weak base that undergoes partial ionization to give ammonium ion and hydroxide ion. Now, the solution contains ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide. Now say, in this solution you got by adding ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide. In this solution, ammonium ion will be present. How many concentrations of ammonium ion will be there? Do you say concentration of ammonium ion will be one value, will you say, or two values, will you say? Concentration of ammonium ion in this solution is one value or two values. What do you say? Do you say one value or two values? That is ammonium ion concentration is so and so due to ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium ion concentration is so and so due to ammonium chloride. Like this will you say, or concentration of ammonium ion is certain value, only one value, do you say? What do you think? What do you think about concentration of ammonium ion here? Here you what are the things you added? You see that you have added ammonium chloride followed by ammonium hydroxide. In the resultant solution, ammonium ion will be there. Concentration of ammonium ion will be one value or two values. One value do you say, or two values will you say? Two values in the sense one is concentration of ammonium ion due to ammonium hydroxide. Another one is concentration of ammonium ion due to ammonium chloride. Or will you say concentration of ammonium ion in the resultant solution means only one value we have to say, or what do you say? Only one value, which is nothing but sum of these two.